Hi friends. I just wanted to do like a little quick kind of like a little tutorial. So by request, somebody had one of my precious subscribers had asked if I would do a tutorial on how I added the diamond dot drills for the diamond dot painting onto just paper, a regular image. Now, I want to say I've never done the diamond dot painting. I actually never did. So I'm just gonna show you what inspired me and just how I went about that. Um, so I really don't understand the diamond dot painting. As I said, I've never done it. Um, for for this project, well, it wasn't for this project. I had originally purchased some of the diamond drills, I think they call it drills, off of Amazon, just a small pack with, none of the extra artwork or anything, or even the tools. I just purchased a set of the diamond dots so that I can use it to embellish my projects, my paper crafting projects. So when I received them, I realized, since I had never had them before, how tiny they were. And I decided I was gonna figure out another way to use them. And so I make journals, as you all know. And there is a method that I saw both Moonside Parlor and Nazi from Amity Bloom do with thread, where you take embroidery thread and you actually, they do it on fabric, but I think Nazi from Amity Bloom, she's done it on paper as well, where you would actually like embroider onto a already made design, whether that's on fabric or paper, usually a floral. And the florals that have these kind of like painted details. And then you would take the thread and you would match the color of the thread to make it very as close as you can to the different tones of the petals of the flower. And then you can take either sections of the flower to highlight, like make a 3D. So basically you're making a 3D project out of something like a flat image. So you would take the color thread that matches, and then you would just embroider over each shade, okay? And then you would go in the direction, that the petal goes naturally, okay? So, for example, like if you're gonna go in for this darker pink here, you would do from like the first dot to where it ends, and then you just go back and forth, okay? I'm showing my chubby finger here, but like basically, or let's say you're doing like this lighter pink, so then you would start here or wherever you want to start, but you would start at one point and then you would just bring it out, and then you keep on going until you fill in the whole space, and so on and so forth. And then at this color pink stops right here, so then you have white, so then you would go maybe with a white, or you could leave that white there alone. Same thing, that this has 2 shades of pink, so then you would use this color pink and you would just go back and forth until that fills in, and then you continue it, but you would continue it not going over the darker color. You just want to fill in this particular shade. When you're done with that, then you would go into the darker color and then you would continue. And you're not going to get the same exact shape, but you're going to get something similar, and it's going to give it a 3D effect. So I wanted to use that same technique when I saw these florals to kind of highlight in the giveaway journal that I did, to highlight some of the florals. The Maggie Holmes designs are notorious for these big, bold florals. This is just a scrap piece that I had from that project, and this is from the Sunny Days collection. Normally you have bigger ones, so this type of project works best with these type of big florals. Like this would be a beautiful one to highlight, and then you would just find the diamond drills that would be close enough to these colors. So here I would have, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 colors of pink. And then whatever you have, like a dark brown and a lighter tan brown for the center. If you choose to highlight this, I think in something like this, I might just go in and make dots for this darker part, or vice versa. I might do this brown and then just leave this like that, you know, leave some of it flat. And then you could even do it. So anywhere that you have an image, a cardstock image that has these type of highlights, for example, like if you have like this flat, I'm horrible at explaining this, guys. I'm trying my best. If you have like this flat color, for example, this blue, there's no shading, you can absolutely find a blue like this and then just do the diamond dots, but it's just one flat look. But when you do it on areas that have shading, it just gives it such a nice pop out of the page type of thing. So those are the best things to do. So if you're doing, like, for example, embroidery thread on fabric or paper, you want those type of flowers. Let's say this is another image from Maggie Holmes, okay? In this particular one, there's a lot of yellow, but so I wouldn't necessarily go ahead, and you can do some of the yellow, but here it might be nice to just pop out some of this. Like there's like a little pink here, so it'd be nice to kind of highlight some of that pink. So depending on what image you have, you can apply the same technique, okay? This is the box that I purchased off of Amazon, and it's Zoretco, and it's just 30 colors, diamond beads. It doesn't, like I said, doesn't come with any kit or anything. It just has the little diamond drills, and it has the numbers. So I'm assuming that the diamond dot paintings have numbers for the colors. Just like, I'm assuming that that's like when you do color by number. So the numbers are identified in each of the packs for the colors, okay? So anyway, I just picked out, which are these few right here. These are open, so I don't want to splatter them. So I picked out colors that I thought were close enough to the tones of this flower. And like I mentioned, this is 1, 2, 3 shades of pink. And then this is like a really pale, almost white pink. It's not 100% white. It's like kind of a white pink type of thing. So for that, I think that's where I used, I don't remember now if this was the one that I used. I might have used this one. Even if you use a tone that's a little bit darker than that, you just basically want to make sure that the next shade over is going to be darker than that one if you want to give it that shaded effect. Okay, for the center, there's like 2 types of yellow, and they're pretty much like a mustard yellow, but the center is just a little bit darker. I didn't have those colors, so for the centers, I ended up going, wow, I don't have the journal in front of me, but I ended up going, oh look, and then even this color could work for that wider part of the petal. But I ended up using for this the dark, like a dark mustard yellow, and then this lighter yellow. So the darker obviously going here on the darker parts of the shade, and then the lighter yellow for the outside. Okay, so, and then I believe what I did for the pinks, this one would have been this color here. Or no, this was my darkest. Okay, sorry guys. So this was my darkest. And if you're curious, that's 3609. So this was my darkest shade. So I used it for like these darker parts of the pink area. And then this pink, 605, I used it for this part right here. But like I said, it doesn't have to be exact, and it's not going to be exact because it's not a diamond painting, but it's flexible as long as you're doing different colors. I'm definitely, right now for the example, I'm definitely going to use this one for that part here. Oh, I just dropped some. This is why I don't do diamond painting. So yeah, I won't start off with this one because I might actually use, I don't think I colored this on the journal, so I might actually use maybe a whiter one. It depends. So I'm just going to show you the tools that I use. If you have an actual good these picking up tools, I don't know what you call this, but basically it's one of those tools that has the wax that you can pick up tiny things like that. And then I just use this little old pokey tool that I had for like so many years, since 2021, from Dollar Tree. I don't know if they have this anymore. And I just use that to kind of push things into place. And then the glue that I'm using is art glitter glue. I also have this bottle for like so many years, since maybe 2020. And I just keep refilling it. So forgive the looks of my art glitter glue. Now, basically, you just want to use a glue that has a fine tip and one that dries clear. That dries clear and that is pretty strong. Okay, that can glue paper and embellishments on. Glossy Accents is another really good one, and I would use this one, but I find that this one takes longer to dry. I mean, they're both water-based. See how the tip on this one is also very thin? It makes it easier. Okay, so let me quickly show you. Let me just decide first what color I want to use. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this part here, okay? I'll start off with this part here. And so I'm using this pink, which is 819. I don't know, I really don't know if that's going to make a difference. And I'm going to take a few. So I don't have like those little trays either that organize the diamond dots. So that's another reason why this pokey tool comes in handy, because then I can just go and kind of fix them for easier grabbing. Okay. All right, so what I just do, so because I want to shade, you're going to start where you want to shade. I should have filled this before I started the tutorial. Okay, you don't want to take too much. So I would go in and then just make a couple of dots where you want to apply your diamond dots. And if you don't want it to dry too quickly, I don't know if you can see that. See, I made a few dots. And you're gonna take your little tool and see if that focuses, and you're just gonna place it. And if you have to push it down or adjust it, which you will when you have a few of them, you just do that with the pokey tool. And that's how I did it. And it's gonna go over, because the diamond dots, if you're doing small spaces, it's gonna go over a little bit. But like I said, because you're shading it, it's okay, because you're just like picking and choosing. I mean, if you want to do a whole area, you know, like of flowers, that's fine too. But I like to do it just as accents. So I might do this flower and skip another flower, or I might just do 2 flowers on the cover and the rest of it leave flat, you know? Art glitter glue dries fast, but it's not as fast as, let's say, Fabri-Tac. So I have a little bit of wiggle room here. Okay, so you see how that looks already? Okay, I'm gonna add now a little bit of glue to this portion that I didn't cover yet. And I'm sorry if the lighting isn't too great. I have to use my artificial light because, all right, you see? So I just put glue on the portion that I'm gonna add the diamond dots to. I really have a hard time filming during the day, so sometimes I have to do it at night, and let me tell you, I value my sleep with a toddler, so it's hard for me to do that too, but once in a while it's okay. Okay, so I think that's fine. All right, for that one, I'm gonna have to scoop these up later. And then I said, for this one here, oh, I picked a really difficult petal. Okay, so there's 2 more shades here. So here I'll try the lighter pink. Okay, that's the lighter pink. Let me just straighten out some of these so I can grab it easy. Okay. And that one, by the way, is 605. Okay. And so I might put, this is not exact once again, since I'm gonna do the darker shading along here on the outside, I'm just gonna maybe put 1 lighter pink right here. So if you have experience with actual painting and you understand all of that, you might do a really great job on this because you understand shading. I'm not a painter, so I'm pretty much just eyeballing it. Okay, my glue is a little bit stuck. Like I said, I have to fill it. All right, so just making a few dots on the areas that I think I'm gonna put some dots on, some drills. Okay, I'll put one right here. Then I'll put one right here. I don't think that one's gonna fit. And that's okay. I could also move it. That's where this handy dandy pokey tool comes into play. Ugh, okay, no. Nope. The only thing with this, like, I've seen so many of those fancy, whatever you call this thing, embellishment tool. And honestly, I need to invest in one. If you guys saw my like other videos with the other embellishments I did, so there you go. That's so far. Now I'm gonna take the darker one. I was using my, and I still use, when I do smaller beads to pick them up, I use my jewelry tools, my jewelry pliers. But these are so tiny that I needed something to grab. So I ended up on Amazon, since this kit didn't come with, well, it's not a kit, it's just the drills. So since it didn't come with a tool to pick it up, I just purchased one. All right, so I'm gonna go here now. Once again, the area that I didn't cover. Hopefully my glue cooperates. I should have filled this before filming. That's the only thing when it comes to like fine tip glues, they can get stuck on you. And art glitter glue is one of those glues that doesn't like to be kept open. It will clog up your tip and it is frustrating to fix. That's what happened here actually. So it does need to be filled, but at the same time, I had accidentally left it open overnight, and it literally clogged up my tip, and I unclogged it, but it didn't really do too much. Didn't make much of a difference. Oh, I grabbed two. That's okay. Oh, wow. No, I grabbed the wrong one. That happens. Oh, my goodness. And if you saw that, you were like, Arlene, what are you doing? Okay. No worries. My husband likes to say no stress. All right, guys. And look at that. Like, already, that's just one petal. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna do the whole video for all of this because it would take time. But I'm gonna show how I do the center. Okay. But this kind of gives you the gist of like how to do it. So I might start here. I'll start from the inner center, which is the darker yellow. And like I said, I'm using this one, 728. It doesn't match that color at all, but is what I have. So let's do that. And I could pick this up. I have for my jewelry making stuff, I do have one of those little metal scooper things that you can pick up, just like the metal tube thing that you can pick up these beads, or small beads and stuff. So I will do that later. I don't have the tray, but I have, you know, that. There you go. It's kind of stuck. Oh, and this is why you also want to make sure that you're using a glue that dries clear. Okay, so I don't even know if I'm in camera. I'm in frame. So I'm just putting it there. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. And I'm just adding a couple dots. And I won't be throwing this away. I'm not gonna waste my time and dots. I'll just probably I'll use this in another project or make a tag. I actually was thinking about making a tag for this video, but honestly, I'm doing this at night. It's very late, guys, so I just wanted to get this out. So now I'm gonna work on the outer part, okay? So I'm gonna use this yellow, the 307. I have so many projects. I mean, so many projects that I have planned. The Amity Bloom journals that I have been working on for months, and I'm far, by the way, far from finishing those. But I say that they're in the works because they are. I have a few of them, and they're already cut out. Some of the layers of the cover are already set up for me. I just have to, I gotta work on signatures. That's a whole thing in itself. And then obviously connecting those takes time. I have to work on the spine. So that's gonna be a while before they're ready. I'm hoping that once I reset my space, I'll be able to start working on those, and I'll list those in my shop. All right, so just now wherever I put that glue, I'm just gonna go ahead and put in a lighter dot. And by the way, sometimes if there's a gap, at least with the with the giveaway journal. I did overlap them sometimes. Okay. I don't think that's a problem. I don't really like this pen because it's like I never know what's the right amount. If you guys use this, please tell me what am I doing wrong. But yeah, you can overlap them if you want. It doesn't have to be perfect, especially if you're doing this for like a junk journal. But if you want to be precise, then only put a few spots, only fill in a few spots. Okay. Like I want to put one here, but it doesn't really fit exactly. Huh? Well, not terrible. Not terrible. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can get like the idea here. Well, you get the idea, but seeing it like this is probably like throwing you off until you see it completed. But if you can just imagine, like, you know, the lighter colors, as you continue to shade, this comes together and it looks really pretty. I'm gonna try to do a couple more, but then I can't do the whole thing. Like I said, it's late. But if you check out the flip through of my giveaway journal, it's a couple videos back, 2 videos back, I think. You'll see how it looks on an actual cover. Okay, so here the darker, okay, so the darker color is on the inside this time. So like I said, just a couple dots if this glue would work. And if, you know, it ever clogs up, you just kind of poke it with the needle. And it usually opens it up. But like I said, I've kind of used and abused this bottle by now. Okay, so just that. And I think this is my darker color. Okay. This is a lighter one, I think. They got a little bit mixed up from the last time I used it. So unintentionally, I don't have anywhere to store them at the moment. So I have to put them back in the bags, and once they're open, they fall out. Okay. Okay, so that's all I'm putting for that inner part. And then I'll come out with this lighter one. I'm also standing while doing this and trying to look at the camera. So it might be a little wonky just because I'm not sitting down with my nose in the page as I did the last one. So it's much easier to do these type of things sitting down and looking at your image. Okay. I think I grabbed, yeah, I had an extra one. I picked up 2 by mistake, unless I pulled one up. Did I pull one up? I don't know. I'll see when I get back to the video. Okay. So I don't know if you can tell, there's 2 different colors, okay? And all of the little extra white dots that you see there, like I said, it dries clear. You're not even gonna notice it. I'll put one here just because, okay? So then this outer part is gonna be the lighter pink again. And then here, that's like a white highlight. So I would do like a white there. Okay. You guys, if you do diamond painting, you're probably cringing right now because I'm doing this like without the proper equipment, but it gets the job done. And if it's for something small like this, you know, I don't mind putting in the extra work. So I'm not going over that white part. Look at that. You get where I'm going with this? So there's another little bit of pink right here and over here. Let's see. So right here shouldn't be a problem because I have like 3 dots left that are out the bag. See? And like, by the way, for like these smaller flowers, I'm gonna see if I could insert a photo of that giveaway journal. But for the smaller flowers, like I said, I did like I think I did one full diamond drill like image and then floral. And then for these smaller ones, I didn't go in with 2 shades of pink. I just went and I took the darker parts and I just put diamonds on that. And it honestly, it just gave little pops of 3D dimension. So, but I think that's where I'm gonna leave it right now, because if I do all of this video will be super long. So I'm just gonna insert that clip if I can, and I hope this helped. I hope it helps somebody. So it just gives you all some more ideas. Like, I think for the diamond dot painting, I think you end up with like leftovers. So this is a good way to use your leftovers if you do other types of crafts. And you don't have to make junk journals or paper crafting. Like if you have a cardstock or some other image that you just want to add the diamond dots to, you could do that and frame it or something, you know, like, so there's different things that you can do with them. The pen that I did for the giveaway, I also used these diamond dots to glue on the pen, and I used E6000. And by the way, E6000 also has a fine tip, so that's another. So you just want to glue with a fine tip, a wet glue, and one that's strong, that'll hold these type of embellishments. Okay, I hope that helps somebody. Thank you for watching. Bye.